Central Civilian Auditor. I am located at the Perry Police Department. It is now 12:05. I just got finished doing a live stream over at the Walmart. However, I don't think the live stream saved for whatever reason. I was able to, I was picking up some items over there, and I discovered that there was two officers that were conducting traffic stops or conducting traffic stops from private property onto private property, looking at public property, and that is, in my understanding, is against the law to do so, to be conducting official business on private property. And I'm going in here to file a complaint and get an open records request to see if we can try to figure out how many tickets they did. The name of that road was Plaza Road, by the way, Plaza Drive. How you doing, bro? I got a new window in here. I'm starting to. Cool. Around this one? Yeah. All right. Thank you. Actually.
Only two girls in
the court. You knock on this door or this door over here? Alright, thank you. Well, that's actually the court. I'm looking for the police department side. That's the court side. There might be an officer down this way. Man, they're making you work twice.
Did they close the door on you?
It is 12:07 and there's nobody in the police department side at all.
Huh?
I would just talk to myself.
Where did the girl go? I talked to them two chicks there. I sent somebody up here for you.
Can't believe ain't nobody in the police department. I mean, what if it was an emergency?
I know that's right.
You know, I guess I'd be screwed.
Got a contact Axel, maybe she can do somebody.
Do you know where one of the officers are at? Or any of the officers are at? There's nobody in the police department side.
Can you talk to an officer?
Yes.
Or a reporter?
Yes, please. Preferably like a captain, lieutenant, something like that, if you don't mind. Thank you. That's coming along nicely, guys.
Yeah, I'm getting better. One year. All right. Go for the Brooklyn.
Well, you put a new door up there. Did you write your name on there?
No.
No?
I need to, huh? I need to.
Yeah, I saw when the frame was off, I saw the gentleman's name that I guess that helped put that frame in right here in this left-hand corner.
Oh, boy.
Looks nice in there. You did the flooring in this one too?
No, I think they did that.
They did that? It's nice flooring in there. Sure did open up that office space by taking that service counter out. It's like an open floor plan.
Yeah.
I like the colors that they did too.
Yeah, they made it look like.
No. It almost has like a homey feel to it more than a standard white government office. Yeah.
They're like they're at home. It's a home. Everybody wants to cover.
Yeah. Well, most people spend what is it, like 80 or 90% of their life at work or something like that?
They do. They'll never go home. love that one. Love it.
About lunchtime.
Come back at 5 o'clock. Then I can get something done. I'm ready to get nothing done. There's a crowd.
What color y'all painting this one in here, you know?
You gotta mix match the color like that door there.
Oh, okay.
That door right there too. They'll put the same pattern. Same color, same stuff, waiting on the glass to come. The glass ain't yet. Man.
Yeah.
The only thing is the bulletproof glasses in the back. We don't need that, we need these. Hey, y'all know what, man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You got one down that floor, man. That thing heavy. But I give it to them guys who listen at everything. Whew. That's heavy. I like to have a piece of that right there, one of them glass like that in my utility room, so where I can look at it sometimes instead of always covering it up.
Mm-hmm.
That booger heavy, man. It's heavy.
Sometimes you can contact the company that
That
makes that, and they have like scrap pieces that they sometimes toss away. You might be able to get them for like.
That's what I need, man. You gotta clean it like you clean a TV.
Mm-hmm.
TV screen.
Well, my understanding that glass, though, in direct sunlight, will actually yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, man. Did you get nobody in yet?
I think she's working on it.
Okay.
She usually does a pretty good job. Oh, they're in a meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were in a meeting.
There you go.
I can talk to somebody lower than Chief.
Well, the captain and the major and lieutenant were all in the meeting with me.
Oh, I
We've been doing
apologize.
interviews all day.
Oh,
man.
We're
cool.
just getting done. We were recapping what we've done this morning. What can I do for
Well, actually, I just came to file a complaint real quick.
you? Okay.
You got two officers out on Plaza Drive that are sitting on private property conducting traffic stops.
Okay.
So I just wanted to submit my complaint to you on that.
Okay. Well, I get the patrol lieutenant. They work hard to come handle it.
Okay, sounds good.
And you know for a fact they don't have permission to be doing that?
That's why I'm coming to you, but
Okay.
typically you don't get...
Mr. Dunn, we don't we don't just trespass people's property.
Okay, usually it has to be written permission, so...
No, sir. It doesn't.
You got verbal permission from the
I
landlord?
don't know. I'm
Okay.
just trying
Well,
to tell you that, I appreciate your efforts, but we will run the police department. But I'll have the lieutenant come take your complaint.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, just letting you know they're sitting on somebody's personal property and
Has
conducting
that
traffic.
person complained to you?
I'm making the complaint.
Is it your property?
I'm making the complaint, and they're
Is it your
stopping people into another piece of private property. So it's
We'll look
conducting
into it.
business.
I'll have Lieutenant Sutcliffe get with you just now.
Lieutenant who?
Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe?
Yes, sir. He's
Okay.
the watchman manager.
Thank you. But I don't... Yeah.
60 on That's a lot of money. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey.
I'm Lieutenant Sutcliffe for the police department.
Mr. Dunn, how you doing?
Shift supervisor today. So
Okay.
Chief Lynn said you had a complaint you'd like to file?
Yes. You had two officers or two patrol vehicles over there. I don't know if it was just two officers, may have been three,
Okay.
sitting on private property conducting traffic stops
Okay.
off of Plaza Drive. They sit there quite a bit,
Okay.
and they are pulling people over, I guess, for who aren't using turn signals at the stop sign or not stopping all the way, and pulling them over onto private property as well too, conducting business.
What part of, where on Plaza Drive are they?
At the very end of Plaza Drive, sitting on Perry's LLC's property.
Is that where the sports center boat little area?
Yeah, but it's actually, they're sitting on the very back end of it, facing towards, going back toward the main street.
I'm trying to think.
Well, I think it's Main Street that runs it.
Sam Nunn Boulevard.
Sam Nunn Boulevard, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because I know on Plaza Drive there's a little dead end that goes to the right next to that dollar store. There's like a little. Is that you're talking about?
Yeah, they're sitting right there. It's actually not a dead end. It's actually a driveway. They're sitting right in front of the driveway going into the fenced-in area that goes into there for the boats, and they're also blocking the flow for the other property going into the other way.
Okay.
But the private property, again, it's owned by Perry LLC, goes all the way up to the curb, right there where it starts to curve around. And then from that curb to the next adjacent curb is actually Walmart's property that goes all the way up to the Dollar General curb. And then after that, it becomes public property, according to the GSI survey. So they're technically sitting on private property, conducting traffic citations, and pulling people over onto private property. So I don't think that's right to do so.
Are you the owner of that private property?
I'm not the owner of the private property.
Okay.
You don't have to be the owner of the private property, but they are blocking access to that. So
well,
if
I asked you, I didn't know if you had contact with the owner, if that was something that you and the owner had discussed.
That's not really that important. The important part of it is that they're on private property conducting official business for a traffic citation.
You want to step in here with quiet?
That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
I guess we put these here to dry out. We just used them this past weekend.
I hope this is the only time I have to come in here.
City courtroom show.
Right.
So I'll look at that. Those are actually my shift that's working right now, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my officers. I do know that officers have sat before. They'll watch the stop sign.
Yeah, I've been over there and seen many times there's been officers over there, and they're pulling a lot of people over there. I'm not opposed for them in traffic enforcement stuff like that, but being on private property conducting official business, I do have an issue with that.
Okay. Have you found where that's illegal?
Well, you have to have permission from the landowner in order to be on the property, and then if you're conducting official government business, for an officer to be on somebody's property, you have to have permission from them, or have to have a warrant in order to access their property. Which I don't know if you have either one of those.
So a lot of times, most of the time when we do traffic enforcement, you're right, we're usually on the right way of the road, or we're sitting in a median. We're not typically on someone's property. There are times where we will go park in someone's driveway of a private residence, and usually we'll get the permission. If they ask us to come out there and run radar in the neighborhood or do some kind of traffic enforcement, we'll do that. But I got to concede to you, typically when it appears to be commercial property, more often than not, you're right, most officers probably don't go up and ask the business owner, do you mind if I sit here and watch the stop sign? So that's something I'll look into for you and see if they have a problem with that. If they tell us, we don't care if you sit here, have at it, then we'll probably continue to do that. If they tell us, yeah, I don't want you sitting on my property, then we'll absolutely move and we'll just continue that.
Okay. Now, from a private standpoint, I don't know if it's different with law enforcement. As a private citizen, if I was going to be conducting business or something on somebody else's own property, I'd have to get written permission in order. I mean, verbal is fine, but people can change their mind later. But technically, it's supposed to be written. Is that something that y'all will end up getting from there? Because I know y'all do stops there all the time over at the end of the plaza. I'm not saying these two officers, but in general.
I mean, obviously, the reason why I go over there is people blow that stop sign right there to turn to the Walmart. They kind of blow that stop sign, and so they do law enforcement there. So we'll try and contact them. Well, we'll try. I'll do my best to find out who did. You said it's Perry LLC?
It's like Mark something and Perry LLC. I think it may be two joint owners.
Are they the ones that? So do they own the? They built it used to be a gravel driveway that went all the way back when they were constructing part of the new apartments off of Macon Road, and so maybe that's the owner.
So they do have a gravel driveway that goes by there, but they own like 50-something plus acres that comes right off of that section there.
Who it is that owns that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will definitely contact them and just make sure that it's good with them, and if he gives us permission for it, that's something that will be documented, and the report that I do will definitely do that for you.
Okay.
And we'll make sure we'll get on that. And if he tells us, no, I don't want you to sit on my property, then yes, sir, we won't sit on your property. So we'll follow up on that for you.
Sounds good. So are y'all going to stop until y'all follow through with that from that section?
I will call my guys and and tell them that until we get permission from it, that let's just back off and go somewhere else.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
that. The other thing too is I would like to file a open records request to find out how many tickets they've written from that location in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 months from there, just out of curiosity.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
No problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Specific date, you say just a couple months, whatever?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 months, just from that one location.
You mind if I step in here and just write down?
That is fine.
real quick what you
That's
want?
fine. Kevin, how you doing? He's gonna step in there. You want me to wait here?
I'm going to get a sheet of paper. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah.
I was taking you in there.
Oh no. Thank you.
First thing is going to be amount of citations written from that spot in the past couple months.
Right, and you don't have to. I mean, I just want to just look at them. You don't have to have them all printed up or anything. It's just I'll do a quick little picture or video of it real quick, and I mean, you know, if you can pull up on a computer and scroll down real quick, I mean, I'll be able to capture it and be done. And I don't know. Well, I guess it depends on how many tickets you've written.
Pilot driving, pilot connected, I think is what
Yeah,
I believe.
Google Maps has it as Plaza Drive. I don't know what the cross street is right there in front of.
Yeah, I was thinking it's connected, but I'm not quite sure. You want me to just put down past 3 months just to get a good roundabout date?
Yeah, that'll be fine. And approximate's fine. And then
Permission from the
right.
from the landowner that we have to be out there.
Yes, if you don't mind. You know, I mean, he may not even know that you guys have been out there this whole time. And then again, he may have. I mean, I don't know, but it should have been documented somewhere.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We don't typically get it. If we know we have a problem in town, if there's a certain red light or whatever, sometimes we may park at particularly the end of a driveway of a business, and I don't think it really ever crosses the mind to go say, "Do you mind if we park here?" Because typically most of them don't really have a problem with it. But I will tell you from experience, there has been some in the past that said, "You know, I don't want to see a patrol car sitting on my driveway," and so we tend to stay away from those. And that's probably a good spot that most officers probably sit there just because it's kind of like a wooded area, like a dead end, and they probably don't think it's a big deal. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really the best vantage point for that that stop sign anyway, to see that and be tucked away enough where people aren't looking back far enough. But, you know, my concerns, you know, is the constitutional side of things, you know, as far as conducting governmental business on private property without having permission to do so.
I understand.
But I appreciate you, you know, talking with me and the courtesy that you're showing. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. I appreciate what you're doing. So I'll go ahead and follow up on this. I know that you've dealt with Ms. Duffin and the chief on the system right here for taking complaints and getting complaint numbers. I think you get a complaint number every time you come down.
They have,
Let me
yes.
check with Ms. Duffin and see if I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Are these public service announcement boards here? Are they going to move that out there once they close it
That
off?
I'm not sure. I don't want to tell you something that I'm not too sure about.
Because I think they're getting ready to try to make this whole area more of a secured area. So
yeah,
if it's,
it is, they'll probably put that out there. That's just probably one of the things they have.
you should submit it and get your little brownie points with them, like however it works out with the addition.
Give you little brownie points.
Yeah, there you go. Being loud in there.
I don't know what they normally give you. I'm going to give you what's called a case card. That's what we normally give people when we take a police report.
Okay.
So that's going to be the complaint number.
That's what it usually looks like, 18 dash whatever it was.
Well, I pulled
So,
it. We have a book in there now that I can, like if Miss Janet's gone, I think it's lunch break. So I went in there and this is a new number to assign, so that's the one I'm going to do. But I'm going to give you this as a case card. So,
Okay, that'll be fine.
I'm Lieutenant Chris Sutcliffe, and that'll be it. And so what I'll probably do is I'll do I'll either type up a memorandum or email and send it to Miss Janet or my major chief and say here's a complaint, and then also the open records request. I know they have 2 days. We have 3 days to respond to it.
yeah, this is a verbal, it's not written, so, I mean, there's no major rush on it, okay? They've got my email address. You can just email me, say it's ready whenever, and I'll come back, or he'll just randomly come back and check on it and be fine.
Sounds good. Sounds
On
good.
that.
Any other complaints that you think off the top of your head?
I mean, there's a couple complaints, but you know, I mean, no. I mean, as I said, my big concern was that, you know, the whole constitutional aspect of conducting a business on private property.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Not in a row, but they're needing officers for the report.
Yes, ma'am.
Good to go.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
No problem. We'll
Yes,
get back
sir.
to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Could y'all just have a seat real quick and grab some for you, okay?
All right, guys, y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. All right. Again, this is Central Civilian Auditor. We got a case number 18-012, Lieutenant Sutcliffe, Sutcliff, of the Perry Police Department, and he did say that he is going to be stopping the traffic stops currently until they get, from that location until they get permission from the landowner. Oh, guys. So, again, I spoke with Lieutenant Sutcliffe from the Perry Police Department, and Lieutenant Sutcliffe did a very good job, in my opinion. He took my complaint. He seemed to understand what I was saying. I am concerned, however, that the conducting official business on private property is a forethought to ask the property owner permission to go onto the property and actually conduct official business without landowner's permission and just assume that they don't mind. That is a issue that seems to need to be addressed, which I believe I did so by addressing that with this complaint. There is now a record online, so if anybody else has any other issues later on at the Perry Police Department, or excuse me, in the city of Perry, of officers parking or conducting official business on private property without permission. Again, the case number on this is 18-012. Today is Tuesday, June 26th. It's 12:32 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And we will continue to follow up on this